Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 45.
I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. We are getting closer to our 1-year anniversary. It's coming up soon. Couple of months.
Yeah, I was like, it's not that soon. It's April.
It's a couple of months.
That's kind of soon.
We'll have to do an awesome giveaway or something for that.
Oh, we will. Most definitely.
So we're up to...
Any excuse to give stuff away.
I know. I have a whole bag of stuff over here that is just itching to be used in a giveaway. So we're at 798 members in our Ravelry group. We're
so close to 800.
very close, but I'm stoked that we're even that high.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's a perfect intro to how disjointed and chattery we are. So, works in progress. Do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm knitting on a cowl that I'm designing. Let me make it so you can kind of see it. So, there we go. Y'all have to bear with me while I get used to the new camera and where it's positioned. But it is out of Malabriga Twist. I have no idea on the colorway. It's one that I wound and then lost the ball band for. I'll look it up. I think it's pearl gray or something
really pretty
like that. It's a really
gray.
pretty gray. And I'm designing up, this is going to be a freebie. It's a cowl. It's going to be called Single Men because Polly had asked me if I thought guys could wear cowls, and I was like, of course. But then I was looking through the patterns on Ravelry, and there's not a lot that I cared for, so I decided to design one, because I'm like that.
In a good
so
way.
I'm just designing it, and it should be up in a little bit. I'll probably test knit it with a different yarn. And then I'll be done. Yay!
Yep.
I have more than that. I don't know why I stopped talking like I didn't have more.
I didn't even bother to start because I'm looking at the list, the notes, and yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot. I am working on... Okay, so if you're my swap partner for the TheKnitGirlls / Plurk shawl swap, you better look away because it's coming out. This is... I'm coming out. This is Ishbel. It's out of Casbah. Again, I don't know a colorway name because sometimes they don't put colorway names on their ball bands, but we forgive handmaiding because their yarn is so squishy and nice.
That is nice.
It is lovely. And my swap partner was one of the 8 gazillion people who said they liked blue. Trying to narrow it down from that. So it's I'm on row 4 or 6 of chart B. I'm using highlighter tape to keep track of my rows, and I'll talk about that under favorite things because I love highlighter tape.
We actually had a question on Plurk about highlighter tape versus
And this is
pattern tamers.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this is the perfect project for this because I had pattern tamers on them and they fell off and I lost my row.
You know what we should show? Our bags.
Oh.
Peddle-leap. These are the wedges. I
Yeah.
have the little black sheep wedge, and you have the owls.
I have that one too.
Oh.
I'm not going to pretend like I don't.
Oh, that's right. You
Owls.
told me that. But yeah, I love the little black sheep and piddle loop. Sometimes she does felted animals. She has some in the shop now with felted animals,
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know. This is my owls and I love
But
them.
they're
They get
plenty
used
big
to
enough to like stuff full of stuff. So
shawls, for example,
Yeah.
which we're both knitting. Then I have... Now, I said last week that I needed to switch the bags on this, and I didn't.
Have you knit on it since then?
Yeah. I took it to work, actually, and I have a book fair going, so as I watch the children to make sure they don't steal stuff, I knit on, because they're plain stockinette socks. Because I can't read, because I still have to watch them, but I can knit.
I'm surprised you can
So
keep
I'm
the
on the
yarn
second
straight
green.
on that. Like having to watch kids and everything. Oh, but they're
It's
separate
all
balls.
in the piddle.
Okay. That's true.
So I have 2 separate balls. One's actually pulling from the outside, one's pulling from the inside. The only reason I did that was I was too lazy to... What I did was I wound this all into one giant skein. And by me, I mean Kathy. I wound it into one giant ball. And then I took that giant ball and I put it on a scale and I just wound it off onto another smaller ball until it got to the halfway point. Cut it. And it just so happened that the outside of the one and the inside of the other were pretty similar placement. Because when you look and see, they're pretty... I think I'm a row off on one of them, but it doesn't bother me at all.
I love them, actually.
And they're really pretty.
If you wanted to make them for a birthday present for me, you go out and do that.
And I love Twisted, and they came out with a new colorway yesterday.
I haven't looked.
And my heart went, the thumb, the thumb, the
I've
thumb.
seen
It's
many people
pink
park about it,
and
but
gray and so pretty. And I really want it in like their sport weight because Linzim did some sport weight
Oh, she
socks
did, yes.
recently out of their yarn. And I don't have any Duchess, which is their sport weight. But it makes me very happy. And they're another one where they retire colors and bring new colors in. And they're lots of fun. And they brought back one of their retired colorways too. I think it's one of the, it's not Firefly, but it's one off of the Firefly series based, I think. Talon maybe, or something like that. But they brought back another older colorway as well this week. And they're pretty, and I like Twist a lot. It's nice to knit with. Besides being just pretty, it's nice to knit with. And then my last... Well, my Washington Square's at home because I knit like 2 inches on it. Probably less than that. It's at 14 inches. I'm going to see, I might do 1 more inch. This pattern calls for it to be 14 inches, but I think I'm going to do 1 more inch before I start because I'm tall. And
yeah, you need extra torso.
sometimes I need extra torso.
I could use a little extra torso myself.
So the last thing that I have with me is the Make It Work shawl that I'm test knitting for Leslie because it's her pattern. It's gotten a little bit farther since y'all saw it last.
Yeah, you're way into the short rows.
I'm done with the short rows actually now, and I'm about to pick up the wraps, but I have that much left, and I have to join a new ball. And last night as I was watching Harry Potter, I was like, man, I don't feel like joining a new ball. So
what yarn is it?
It is Malabrigu in the Ravelry red colorway.
Oh, cool.
And it's squishy, and I actually had 2 skeins of it, and my LYS was having a sale, and it was like buy 2 skeins, get a third free a couple weeks ago. And I was going to get 2 more skeins and then get the third because they had 3 skeins left. And someone beat it to me. Beat me to it. There we go. Words. They're so... I'm going to take a sip of sweet tea.
Speaking of book fairs, when you were talking about knitting on your socks, I have a question.
Okay.
So my son's school is doing a book fair right now too.
You could order from my book fair and get my school money online, and then I would just bring it to you.
Well, I wondered if they did this at your school. They give them a day's sneak peek.
Yeah.
So they get to walk through and make a long list of all the things that they want. That's the first time I had ever seen that.
Well, I have it for 2 weeks. You can keep this Scholastic book fair for 2 weeks, and I don't do like an official sneak peek. What I do is I just let them wander in and out. They come with their classes. The 6th graders come once a week, or twice, or 3 times, depending. So I see them quite a bit, so they've been in and out quite a bit. The 7th and 8th graders don't get to come in as often. They only come once every 2 weeks. So what the 8th graders are in the building in the mornings before school starts. So I grab a book out of the book fair and I kind of walk around and book talk it. There's a really cool Sports Illustrated book where you can put your hand over Shaq's hand and you can see like how big your hand is compared to his, and how big your hand is compared to like one of the gymnasts. It's really a cool book.
That is neat. It's
and then
interactive.
it's got like a football player and all his gear, and it's got like the pictures are clear. They have every once in a while like clear and then with it imprinted on, and you flip it and there he is in the undergear. And then it goes through the history. Yeah, I know.
Oh, interesting.
It goes through like the history of the protective gear that football players. It's called like Sports Illustrated Behind the Scenes or something. So I walked around with that and showed it to them and anything to get them interested. That's it. I don't really. You don't make a lot of money off the Scholastic book fairs. You can, but it's not a huge money maker for me especially. What I like to do is get kids interested in books. So that's why I'm there. That's why my primary goal in life is at work to get kids interested in books. So if I can get them even a little bit interested, if I end up spending all my profits buying the books that they were like, Miss Linneman, about in the book fair, then that's fine. As long as they read, I don't care. I was the laid-back librarian on Friday, and
yeah, I heard this story on the phone.
And so one of the books in the book fair is like Klutz paper airplane books. So I let my library helpers make paper airplanes and fly them. And actually, I was talking to Becky on GChat, and she was like, "Tell them to add paper clips." So they added paper clips, and then they decided if they use the die cut machine to make stars and add stars to it, that would make it float better. And so it became this huge.
So really, it was a skill building activity.
Really, it was. I don't care what you do. It's Friday afternoon. As long as the books are shelved and I can read my book because I'm in the middle. Well, I actually finished a really good new Roland Smith book that I'll talk about probably next week, which is about storms, which is really cool. It's a kid's book. I'll talk to y'all about it next week. But anyway, book of digression.
Just a little one. Okay, so I have 2 works in progress this week. One was I finally decided on Saturday what I wanted to knit for my partner since the Numa Numa swap shawl didn't work out. I decided I was going to knit Pagona because I loved it so much that, you know, why not knit it for my partner? And it was really easy and it gives such a beautiful shape. So this is a Stephen West, right? Yeah,
Yep.
Stephen West pattern. Ooh, I hit the lights. Sorry. And
It was wobbly in the world for a second.
I'm using Woolmiza in the True Love colorway, which is
True Love, Bluebell.
Bluebell. Yes.
Bluebell.
Yeah, True Love has pink and purple in it. So this is Bluebell.
I only know that because you told me that it was Bluebell earlier.
This is similar to Colton Polar and a couple of other ones, but it's a little darker. And I'm between the first and second set of increases. So this is what it looks like right now. And I'm giving my, over here I've got my Biagen stitch markers some love. And then because I couldn't find all of them, I actually also have the, I got these from a swap partner. These are Loopy U's Entrelock stitch markers.
I have to ask Swedish Rose if she is a medium size. Because I've seen like extra small,
I know she's got the large, but I don't know. It's a good question.
Because I need a medium size. I need one that's like 4 to 6 for shawls. And I'm wondering, I think her
this is
smalls.
a 6.
Okay,
And
she said her smalls go up to size 4.
Well, these must be the mediums then.
I think those are bigger than, I don't know. See, all these questions we have.
I'm sure that she can answer. But yeah, Swedish Rose is the Ravelry name of the owner of Biagen Design Stitch Markers.
And I totally got some of the Stephen West people hooked on her because
really?
I got a thank you today
Really?
from one of them. Yeah.
That's cool.
I need to post my finished Urbana and
yeah, you do.
the Stephen West thread. I can't get a good picture of it because I can't figure out how to wear it.
Yeah.
Right. I wore it to school one day and I wore it kind of like a scarf and it looked, I think, best that way.
Well, you have to take a picture.
Of course.
And then I'm also knitting on, I'm a test knitting a pattern for Wendy Knits. And
Yay.
she did say it was okay for me to talk about it and show it on the podcast, so I did verify that. It's going to be part of her Winter of Desolation ebook, because for those of you that don't know Wendy Knits, Wendy Johnson of Wendy Knits, she broke her hand, and she broke her left hand, and that's her dominant hand. So she hasn't been able to knit for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's
She's-
been a long
she's
time.
going a little
I feel
bit crazy.
so bad for her.
But she's finally starting to get a little bit better. She's still not able to knit or anything.
And
But
she's having a hard time. Like, she has to limit how much typing she does and stuff, so she can't respond to emails like she normally does.
so she put
Or
out a
Clark
call
like
for
she
test
normally
knitters.
does.
So Laura is test knitting
A hat.
a hat, and I'm test knitting these gloves, and this is how far I've gotten on them so far. And this is silky wool. I'm not completely crazy about the way they look in this yarn. I think it's a little bit too tweedy, so I might do them in something else. I don't know. But anyway, I've got the thumb stitches on a holder, and I'm just above that. So I've got to...
It's really
it's
a pretty
going really
pattern.
quickly. I think I've only spent maybe a couple of hours, if that, on it so far. So it's going really quickly, and I'm just using silky wool and some super cheap line brand double point needles that I got from Michael's, I think, when I first started knitting. So
Why didn't you magic loop it?
I just didn't feel like it, and I still had the Numa Numa shawl on that size of my interchangeables, and I just didn't feel like it. So I just used these. I wish I had some metal ones this size. I need to buy some, but
Yeah. Hank has some nice rosewood ones. I like rosewood.
I
I
like
prefer wood. Leslie prefers
that's
metal.
what she said.
Ha ha ha.
So neither one of us has an FO for this week.
Mine is up at Hank of Yarn because I finished the Starving Artist hat, the
Chunky
longer, the longer slouchier version of that, which I was doing in a vintage chunky. And because I'm going to teach a class on that in 2 weeks, I left both of them up there as shop models so the other people could see them in real life.
Yeah.
So I don't have it for y'all. Sorry.
We're not very productive this week in general. In fact, Laura and I talked about that yesterday, that It's just this week, I was really off. I felt really off knitting wise.
It's not a good week for me.
You know, and
Just in
I
general.
feel guilty about it because I always feel like I should have at least some progress to show. You know, I guess I do have a little bit with the shawl, but
You have a brand new shawl.
well, yeah, but this is like 3 hours worth of work. What happened to the rest of my week? But well, I can tell you what happened to the rest of my week. So we'll go ahead and go into the next segment then. Since we have no FOs, except Laura's Starving Artist, which isn't here. It's at
But
the
the
shop.
pattern's available now.
Yes, it
and there
is.
was an error in the pattern that we caught pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So if you download it now, the new PDF has it all fixed.
Yeah.
And it's prettier.
And we've
'cause
got
it's
like
the new
3 or 4 people who've done it out of handspun already. It looks
yes,
really
it
cool.
looks really cool out of handspun. In fact, I have some handspun that I grabbed out of my handspun
Yeah.
bin, set aside to make some out
I
of.
might, because I know when I first started spinning, you know, I got a lot of, like, a 4-ounce braid would turn into 130 yards worth of a 2-ply or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much exactly what you need for that hat. So I might actually pull that out and do that this summer for quick gifts for my Christmas list. Ideally, I'll start Christmas knitting in the summer. We'll see. Y'all can all laugh at me when that doesn't happen. So anyway, where did most of my week go? It went to defeat at the spinning wheel.
I don't think that's a fair and accurate assessment.
Okay, maybe not defeat. Maybe
Frustration.
frustration. A lot of that. So I have a matchless, and it came when I bought it. It came with, I guess it's a medium whirl and a fast whirl. So one, I don't know. I'm not going to try to guess the ratios because I don't remember. But a medium whirl, which was a huge, and then a fast whirl, which was a little bit smaller.
There's a slow roll that's super, super
Yeah, I don't
big.
have that one. And then I've also bought the high speed and the super high speed whirl. Well, I can only find the medium whirl and the super high speed whirl. And I know I had the other ones not a month ago, and I tore my entire knitting room apart and downstairs in my little nest sofa where I like live down there. I can't find them.
Did you check on top of the fireplace?
Mhm.
Wasn't that where it was last time?
Yes,
Yeah.
they're just not there. It'll turn up in a month or so.
My
But
whirls are on the side of my spinning wheel bag where they live.
and I checked my spinning wheel bag. I about tore that dang thing apart. I couldn't find them. They'll turn up. I know they will, but they didn't turn up when I needed them. So
It's just freaking frustrating when you know you have something and you can't find it.
and I couldn't, you know, I finished spinning it, but I couldn't get it to ply correctly because I had it in double drive when I spun it, so I had to ply it in double drive, and oh, it just wasn't, like I was G-chatting with Stacy of Tempted Friday night, and I was like close to tears because I was so frustrated. But finally I changed out my drive band. I had already changed it out once, but I changed out the thin cotton for like a super thick sugar and cream cotton just out of desperation, and it seemed to help quite a bit. So I finished spinning the Cloud Lover 100% merino, super
And it
wash
looks
merino
gorgeous.
for Megan, Crafty Pancakes. I got a 3-ply, I would guess, what would you say, fingering sport?
Fingering.
And I got 366 yards.
You want to see the best way to decide if it's fingering or spinning?
And this is what it looks like. It's a little darker than I expected it to be, but I still like it quite a bit. And it is enough for a pair of socks if they're not like heavily cabled or crazy. Here comes the iPod. It's got an app for that.
iSpin Toolkit has a reps per inch calculator. You just lie it over. It is not 80.
No.
Ah!
I didn't do that. You did that.
27 reps per inch.
So what is that?
Yeah.
Is that fingering? Is that...
That's a fingering.
Okay. So I got a fingering 3-ply.
It's probably between 27 and 23 reps per inch.
I think fingering is like 19 to 20 something. I could be wrong.
Oh, look, I have a little... It's got a little thing, too.
It's
So
got a
you
little
can see
thing.
a little thing. So, reps per inch, fingering is 24 to 30.
Okay, so it's probably a heavy fingering.
Mm-hmm.
I would say a heavy fingering or a really light sport. So they're way over twisted. In fact, I'll show you just so you guys don't have the misapprehension that I'm in any way perfect. But it's way over twisted. It needs a bath. It has not had a bath or a thwack yet. So let go of it and you see how twisted it is. Really, really over twisted.
It's so pretty.
But with the frustration I had for it. I'm just really glad that it's done and that it came out well. So it'll get a bath later. I was going to do it before the show, but it would still be sopping wet. It wouldn't have had time to dry. And actually one of them I applied was really loose, and I didn't like it, so I ran it through again, and that was this one. So that explains one of the reasons why it's really over twisted.
I'm going to have to do that. The yarn that I spun for the socks, I think I'm going to run it through again.
Yeah,
just to
it
make
added
a
quite a bit of twist to it. So
more twisted.
Anyway, so that's my spinning. I finally decided after the last episode I need to finish it, so I spun the other 2.5 ounces and plied, and now it's done.
So what are you thinking about spinning next?
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up, Laura. How do you like that?
Do you like that subtle segue?
So, because I'm going to be spinning Tempted's fiber for our spin along, which we'll talk about in a little bit, starting in April, I wanted to get you guys' vote/input. And I'll give you no guarantee that I'll choose for sure what you guys vote best on, but I would love to see what you guys think.
So they can vote by leaving a comment on the blog.
Mm-hmm. Yes, leave a comment on the blog. And maybe for everybody that leaves a comment on the blog, we'll throw your name in a lottery and send you a prize.
There we go.
I don't know what yet.
It's a contest.
Yay, surprise contest.
Surprise contest.
So just leave your vote on
Is this the
that's
thing
the
of
bag
stuff?
of prizes. So why don't you choose a prize while I'm going to show them what the
Some
choices
pretty
are.
stuff in here.
So the first choice is Cauldron. It's a Hello Yarn. It was a fiber club that was gifted to me because I can't get into her fiber club because she has too many people on the waiting list already, and I understand that. So this is the Cauldron colorway in Polworth, and I'll turn it around so y'all can see it better. So this has got lots of colors in it. I like it quite a bit. I've never spun Polworth before, so this would be a first. So this is number one, choice number one, Hello Yarn fiber. Choice number two is the fiber that Darth Knitter sent. This is Gail's Art, and it is a 70% alpaca, 30% silk. It's 4 ounces in the gumball colorway. Excuse me, so this would be choice number two, Gail's Art, alpaca silk. Choice number three are the 3 bumps that I got, not bumps, 3 little, I don't even know what you would call them. Wonder if she put what fiber they are. BFL Tencel in a 70-30 blend that I got from Spinning Straw into Gold.
She's online, but only her natural stuff.
Yeah, and spinningstraw-into-gold.com. So I got 3. These are each 1 ounce little, we'll call them bumps, even though I know that's not technically what they're called. And I intended to do a gradient dye in it, and then Navajo ply it and do maybe a shawl or a cowl or something. So this is choice number 3, Spinning Straw into Gold. So for everybody that leaves a comment and votes, Miss Laura, they will be entered in a prize.
To win Studio Avenue 6 self-striping yarn. I picked this one because it's bright. It was the brightest thing in the bag.
And it's the doldrums of winter.
It's the doldrums of winter, and y'all need something bright and happy. So you will be entered to win this lovely prize. So there.
Leave a
I'm
comment.
going to pick something else out too.
On the blog and not on the Ravelry group if you want to win
And a
prize.
pattern for a bag. We'll give away 2 things.
And this is a sewing pattern for Pink and Barbara, who just had a baby. Her name is Molly. So congratulations to Barb from Pink and Barbara.
So the caddy, whose difficulty is easy, sewing bag. Do we want to do 2 prizes or package these together? Let's package them together.
Whatever.
What do
I
you
don't
think?
care.
We'll package these together.
Okay, we'll package them together. This is how we make decisions here on the TheKnitGirlls. So leave a comment on the blog if you want to be entered for that.
Score.
So now our chatty segment, because the rest of it's not chatty at all.
I have a new segment that I'm going to introduce.
This is true.
So I was going through the UFOs, and really what I was doing this morning was like, crap, I don't have any finished objects. I wonder if there's something in the UFO that I can finish in an hour and show people. And actually, I've kind of been inspired. The Yarn Harlot, I don't know if y'all read her blog or not, but she's been going through, instead of a startitis, she's having a finishitis, which is very, very cool, and I wish that disease would come with the Linneman household, but it has not yet. So I was going through my stuff this morning, and I grabbed this very cute Ravelry bag, and in it is the start of a La Nova. Is that how we decided
I
we're
think
going to say
it's
it?
Lanovia.
Lenovo? Okay.
Here, I'll hold it up
Yeah.
for you.
Hold up the
This
pattern.
is an Ann Hansen pattern for a sort of a lacy scarf.
And here's the start of it. And it's out of the very nice Texas Toasty by Nama Nama, which is no longer being produced.
Nama nama.
And it's lovely. So the name of the segment is Frog It or Finish It. And I'm going to do a Ravelry poll. And you should tell me whether or not I should frog this or finish it. So if I frogged it, I would probably use the yarn for some sport weight toe-up socks because the Wendy Knits Cal is doing sport weight toe-ups as one of the pattern choices this February. So I'll probably do that in general, but this might get used for that. Maybe instead of just the plain pattern, I might use it for a lacier pattern because it is more of a semi-solid.
And she does have some lacier patterns in her toe-up socks in a box.
Yep. She's got some real, the serpentine socks maybe would be perfect out of this. But anyway.
So that'll
we'll
be
have
on the
a vote.
Ravelry
Yep,
board.
on Ravelry board. Finish it or frog it. That'll be the title. And I'll put maybe a picture of this. I can't guarantee anything because my camera's been acting erratically. And we'll have a poll. So you should tell me if I should finish it or frog it.
I think you should frog it and give it to me. That's just my vote.
And the pattern's really nice. I like the pattern a lot. It is a lace on every row pattern, which makes it very slow progress. I actually started to give you some background of this. I started this as a Christmas present for Leslie 2 years ago. No, it was last year during football season. But the lace is so, and it really is a pretty pattern.
It's one that's really hard to memorize.
The lace pattern is such, I don't want to show it to you because that's the pattern, yeah. The lace pattern is such that it's one that you have to pay attention to as you knit it. So I couldn't do it with football.
I knit that for my son's teacher in '09. So, and I remember cursing it a little bit just because I'm so used to fake lace where you have a rest row. And that didn't have a rest row, so I just, and of course I wasn't the knitter that I am today, so it was difficult.
Yeah.
So, favorite things. Let's see. We have 3 people to say happy birthday to. I'm sure there's more people that have birthdays, but dude, I lost count. So
there's been a lot this week.
I know.
There are a lot of February babies in this world. We love you all.
I wanted to say happy birthday to Becky. How old is Becky today?
Becky is 25. She is 5 years younger than me. It's hard to believe if you see pictures of the two of us.
Huh?
But she is a big quarter of a century old. She plucked that this morning, so I can say it.
And then also JD, our friend from the Twisted Strands podcast, birthday
she turns
today.
40, and I would never have thought
she's too much fun for that, dude.
The world that she was turning 40.
I don't know. I adore her. She didn't record last night, and you know what her reason was?
She didn't feel like it. No excuses. I love that. No excuses. No like, oh, I had a sick baby. Oh, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, life
None
got
of that
away.
like ongoing excuses. I just didn't record because I didn't feel like it.
You gotta love JD. She doesn't beat around the bush. I love her for that. And then also our friend Karen from Around the Twist, she turned 30.
She wore the birthday
She
tiara.
did. So she is between Laura and I, so now I'll never forget how old she is.
Leslie's older than you. And I'm younger than you.
You're still turning 30, bitch.
I know. It's only a matter of time. It's a month and a half away.
So those are our happy birthday wishes. You have a book you want to review, don't you?
I do.
And she was looking through it earlier as I was doing like
this
testing.
Book.
And I was just smiling. It's so cute.
We were talking earlier about all the babies that have been born recently, or I have a ton of people at work that are pregnant again. And my favorite book for baby hats is Baby Beanies by Amanda Keyes. And really, there is nothing cuter than a baby in a hat.
And I don't know
adorable.
who photographed this book, because they should photograph every baby
book.
book.
Oh my gosh. And there are so many things I love about this book. Just look, yarn.
Oh, look at it all. That is so cute.
Now, it was glue bound, and I've had it a couple years. Let me tell you when it was actually published. Probably 2 years, so it's getting a little bit creaky in its old age. 2008 was when I bought this book, and I love it. I've knit probably, I want to say at least 10 of the hats in here. Maybe not different ones, but I've knit the same ones over and over and over again. Great basic And it's a great, any level could use this book. It's awesome.
And they have different sizes for every hat, right?
It goes from like 0 to 3 months all the way up to like 0 to 6 months all the way up to 2 years and up. So I've done this one, just the simple rolled beanie, so many times, and you can just change that up by adding pom-poms.
They have one in there with a little button
this
and a
one's
frilly
got
thing.
The cute little pom-poms that are braided and put on securely. Adorable. This one just cracks me up because I just see this baby just eating it
just
after
pulling
she's done. So maybe not the most practical hats always, but just
they'd be perfect
so
for, you know, a lot of
cute.
people, you know, as soon as their baby is a couple weeks old, they take those, you know, baby in a cocoon pictures.
Yes.
And a lot of these hats would be perfect for that.
And not necessarily baby appropriate materials when it comes to yarn choices. The one from before was Malabrigu. This one is Cashmere. So they're not super wash, but you could easily change up the yarn. Okay, this one I've done like without the pom-pom 7 or 8 times, just using up little bits of extra hand spun and throwing that in there.
That's a really cute hat. And again, the stylist and photographer in this book deserve some kind of award because they're like, there's
So
even angry baby
cute.
pictures that look cute.
Okay, this one just cracks me up. The alien spaceship. I love how they have her dressed up, and then they've got that crazy hat, and that's the one that's on the front cover too. Adorable.
You gotta find that angry baby picture.
Okay, angry baby. There's the angry baby. I love the angry baby. It's so angry.
It is so adorable.
So, and that one's got a little bit of Fair Isle on it, so it's really expanding your skill set if you've never,
in a very, like, non-scary way, because it's just a baby hat.
It's a baby hat. Even if it turns out freaking ugly, babies look cute in any kind of hat.
Yes.
They're just adorable.
I love that little girl. She's beautiful.
Oh, I love how they have this baby, like, half naked in fairy wings with the beret. It just cracks me up.
That's going to be your sister's baby right there.
My sister's baby will be crazily dressed. But just, I love this baby with his, like, little fatty face.
That is
It's
just
so cute.
I love the photographer for this book.
And there's more ballet, baby. This one's in a candy beret that's Malabrigu. So cute. And she's, the author is actually a professional children's photographer.
Oh,
so I
okay.
bet she took all the pictures herself. And she's a mother of 4. I just read the back cover.
So what's her name?
Amanda Keys.
Amanda Keys.
So just
Amanda
very
Keys, we
cute.
love your baby hats.
Trying to think, there's the pixie hood. And a lot of them aren't anything new or super different than things that we've seen, but the fact that they're all in one book and they're just adorable, and the sizing
Photographed so beautifully
is just perfect. There's boys' hats, there's girls' hats. If you have a last minute shower, I've done several of these for shower presents. So, and this is the author's first book, so very cool, and I hope she comes out with more.
Since then.
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything. That doesn't mean that doesn't exist.
Oh.
There's a teddy bear hood. Just really, really cute. Perfect last minute presents because most of them are in worsted on size 9s.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of them were in worsted.
Yeah.
So we will link to this book in the show notes. And we will be linking to Amazon for all of our books from now on our viewer's suggestion that we join the Amazon affiliate program, where if you click on the link and buy the book from our link, then I think we get a quarter or something like that. I don't know, because nobody's done it yet, because we just got started. But so no, you are under no obligation, obviously, but we were requested to add that, and it costs us nothing to do it. So
several people asked us to do that, so why not?
So we did.
Y'all enable us.
Seriously, as much as we enable you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what else. You got some goodies at the store earlier today.
What's it? Oh. My saltine goldfish.
We went out to
I don't know
lunch
if y'all have seen saltine goldfish, but these have been library helper eaten and approved because they go in and steal mine all the time. but I love them. They're like saltine crackers, but they're goldfish, so you can bite off their heads. So they are delicious.
Is this a stress relieving practice for you?
No, but they're just delicious. They're so good. Oh.
You got them for the first time on the way to Stacy's, right?
When did I get them for the first time? Now on the way to December,
Arkansas?
Arkansas
Okay.
Fiber Extravaganza.
Yeah.
And there has been no looking back. And there's only one grocery store in our
area.
area that sells them. So every time I'm up visiting Leslie, and we went to Nuke's for lunch. I know that's a hard stretch since we're both drinking Nuke's glasses.
It's like a local deli
Yeah,
salad bar.
so,
It's really good.
We went there for lunch, and Kroger's right next door, and I was like, I need saltines.
Yes. And it's funny. Every road trip we go on, we are never without goldfish.
Nope.
So,
And I typically, they're easy for me to grab a handful and go at work. So I typically have them at work, and my library helpers know that, and they typically will eat some, and then they'll bring me another bag of the cheddar. You know, typically they get me the whole grain ones, and I'm like, oh, y'all are looking out for us. And they're like, no, Miss Lemon, that's all our mamos would buy us. So
that's all they can steal and bring into you.
Yeah, that's all I can steal and bring to me, apparently. I don't know. They're such sweet children. I have good helpers. That's it.
We also
for
wanted to
that.
talk about our spin along. Do you want me to talk about it?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to take a drink.
So we are going to have a spin along that's going to begin in April, and Stacy of Tempted is going to dye the fiber for us. We have a poll up on the group. It's the thread is sticky. It's a spin along thread, and you can vote whether you want BFL or Merino. Right now, BFL is winning out like 2-1, 3-1, something like that. I suck at math. It has 79 votes, and BFL, as of earlier, had 30.
Merino.
So, Merino, yes, sorry. God, I don't know what I would do if I hosted this thing by myself, because I would just be wrong all the time.
I just enjoy correcting you all the time, so.
So, you can vote until the 8th, which is Tuesday, until February the 8th. And then when the voting is over, Stacy will put up listings in the Etsy shop. You can buy 4 ounces, you can buy 8 ounces, you can buy as many as you want, but it has to be in 4 ounce increments.
You could buy a pound and do a sweater. That would be awesome.
And like I said, they'll go up on the 8th or the 9th, and they'll be for sale until the 20th. As far as I've been told from Stacy, they will not sell out. She will dye as many as she sells. So she'll order, as much fiber as we request, she will order and dye it for us. She will be sick of the colors that that she's dyeing with by the time that it's over.
Let's make Stacy sick.
Yes, that's the goal. Make Stacy really tired. But internationals will go out first, because I know Customs likes to hold stuff hostage, and then everybody else's will go out by, I think the 20th of March was the date, or it might have been earlier than that. I can't remember. And the spin along will begin on April the 1st, and it will go through the 31st, although if you finish after that, who cares? And then we'll do...
Not me.
Sometime in April, we'll do a final vote for what patterns you want to knit from it.
So keep adding to that pattern thread.
And so, just to clear up confusion, because there has been a little bit in the group, we want at least 5 patterns to sort of win out. So we want patterns all the way from a beginner's chunky hat, like the Starving Artist perhaps, all the way up to, a lace shawl or a vest or something. We want there, after the voting, to still be 5 patterns for you guys to choose from. So
we'll take the top 5 whose love button has been pushed the most.
Yes, or agree. It's the agree button.
Okay. It's a little bit dirty sounding.
Yeah. Well, that's the real Laura. But I believe that's all of the specifics. If you have any questions, you can just ask it in the group or PM one of us.
Yep. And by one of us.
Let's see, what else? You had a product that you wanted to talk about.
Yes, my Lolo bars. So, I don't know if y'all have seen Lolo bars before, so we were kind of stretching on what to talk about today, so I was like, I have Lolo bars with me, because I keep this in my bag, and it is a bar.
So you found these where? TNA?
TNA. And I bought at TNA the little gift packet. Oh, it's so good. This one smells like vanilla.
So it's essentially like a lotion.
It's essentially a lotion bar, but it's got, what comes on top of it is a little piece of paper that says different quotes, and this one says, "Knitting warms our souls." And I use it a lot, especially recently. You can see it's got a little divot on my elbows, because my elbows get super
Oh,
dry.
you didn't tell me you used it on your elbows, now it's on my hands.
Are you suggesting that my elbows are dirty?
They could be. I don't know.
I take showers. How will my elbows get dirtier than my hands?
I don't know, but I enjoy offending you. So
Now I'm really curious. I would think my hands would get a lot dirtier than my elbows would, germ-wise.
it feels
Anyway.
really nice. It smells.
It smells like
really
vanilla.
good. Yeah.
Vanilla and lemongrass are my favorite so far.
Vanilla is my favorite scent, hands down, for any of the natural scents. Although I like citrusy stuff too.
But it's a head-to-toe natural moisturizer, and it's really good. Every once in a while, when I need to take a break from knitting, I give myself a hand massage,
Yeah.
and it's perfect for that. Because then when I go back to knitting, the moisture is there, but it's not greasy. It's
Yeah.
not going to get off on my knitting at all. It's not going to make my knitting shiny. Someone asked me yesterday, "Will it make your knitting shiny?" No, it won't.
That'd be kind of cool if it did, though.
I have greasy yarn,
Like
but
that
it's
finishing
perfect,
touch.
and it works well with all that. And I love it. So Lolo bars, and they have a bunch of other products. I also
Where can you find it?
You can find it. You can find it at Hank of Yarn if you're local, but you can also find it at barmaids.com.
We'll link to that.
www.barmaids.com. And they have a bunch of other products. I use their lip gloss. They gave me some of that. It kind of reminds me of Burt's Bees a little bit.
Mhm.
And then they gave us like face pudding and all sorts of stuff from the sampler pack.
Face pudding. Now that
Which
sounds
is a
dirty.
moisturizer. And they have a whole bunch of different products. So I've tried, the Lolo bars are really my favorite. And the Hank of Yarn Sock Club this last time had a wee little of the naturals thing. Oh, and then highlighting tape. Thank you, because I would have just looked at it and been like, huh. My favorite thing for charts right now, because it doesn't come off typically, is highlighter tape.
Now, do you have the pattern tamers with you, or?
I didn't bring any pattern
I've got
tamers
one
because
here.
I didn't think we were going to do a review of pattern tamers.
Well, I just wanted to show.
I do like, actually, I like pattern tamers a lot, but when you have a chart, let me grab
So
something out
pattern
of the
tamers,
bag.
for anybody that doesn't know, they're like little ribbons with magnets glued on the inside. And this one's from Slip Stitch Studios.
And then if you put it over,
Theoretically, the magnet will hold.
Yep, and it'll hold your place. The only time that I found this not productive is with thicker pieces of paper like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, or if you have a chart going
Vertically.
sideways like that.
Yeah,
See,
it
it
falls off.
doesn't work
Plus,
as well.
if it's going to be going in and out of your knitting bag, very, very bad idea. If it's something that you're just going to keep on the couch beside you, it's a long-term project, it's probably fine.
Yeah, it's fun. And I have a bunch of Pender Tamers in different sizes, and I enjoy them for smaller charts. If you have like an 8x10 card that you've laminated or something, pattern tamers work best for that. But I just like my highlighting tape, and I actually fold over
Buddy
one
tab.
end,
Yep.
and that way it's easy for me to pick up and
So
move.
it's essentially just like a piece of tape. It's not quite as sticky. It will come off. And you can move it on the chart as you go. So as you finish a row, you can just pick it up and move it. Or you can be lazy like me and not move it except maybe once every 4 or 5 rows.
The downside of highlighter tape that I've found is if you do not keep your patterns in plastic sleeves, it will take off the ink on your patterns.
That's true, yeah.
So you want to make sure that your pattern is in a plastic sleeve before you use highlighter tape.
Also, you probably want, and I learned this the hard way when I was knitting something lace. I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't a plastic, the pattern wasn't a plastic sleeve, and I put the pattern, the highlighter tape over the plastic sleeve, over the chart line that I was on, and then my pattern moved a little bit, and then I was on the wrong row, and much cursing ensued, but that was a
I tend
one-off
to
kind of
use
thing.
it with Post-it notes. Like I always write down, if I'm putting something in my bag and going, I typically grab a Post-it note and stick it on the pattern and say I'm on row 15. There's no perfect way to do anything. I tend to do a combination method, or I write a
Whatever's
note now.
handy.
Now I've been writing notes in my iPod Touch on the little notebook thing. I think actually the fix for starving artists is on here, so that is the wrong password. There we go. There's a notes feature here, and I'll write myself little notes. So, you know, whatever works. And there's a bunch of different gadgets in here too, where you can
So you guys can
Keep
tell
track
how
of stuff.
strapped for topics we are. Because we're both, this week has been off. Next week will be better.
Yeah.
I now have a pattern that I'm happy about, and we'll actually have two because I'm excited about Wendy's mittens. I didn't start them until
I'm starting
Saturday.
Wendy's hat tonight, so yay.
And I look forward to seeing what you guys suggest for the spinning, and I won't start that probably until late this week, maybe next week, because I need a break from my wheel. Me and my wheel, we just need some time apart.
And if there's anything that y'all want us to talk about, you know you're free to go leave a comment on the blog or go into the Ravelry group and say, hey.
Yes. And actually,
talk about this.
On that topic, if there are products that you would like for us to review, a certain kind of yarn, a certain kind of tool, a certain kind of, I don't know. I'm out of topics, but if there's a specific thing that you guys want us to review, send us a PM or, start a thread on Ravelry or whatever. We are going to try to work with some of the companies and see if we can get some products to review. And we are working with some book companies to get some books to review, so that'll be coming soon. And that is all I got.
Well, so out of the Danger Crafts pattern.
Oh yes, that's right. We didn't talk about that.
Speaking of new and shiny, Danger Crafts released a new pattern this week, which I don't know how she has time to do all this because she's pregnant, she's getting ready her nursery, and she just released a book, and now she has a new freebie pattern that's out called Chubby
Chirps.
Chirps. There we go. And it's little birds, and this with some monster chunks and some bun nuggets, perfect presents for little ones.
Yeah, and they're super quick. She said it takes her
like
about
an hour and a half. Yeah, and it's all sock yarn, but you could easily make it bigger using just go down a couple needle sizes of what your yarn typically recommends.
Yeah, they're super cute too. She's got a whole little family of them right here that I think is super cute.
They're adorable.
So, and that you can get the pattern on her site, which is RebeccaDanger.typepad.com, or she also has an Etsy shop where she sells her patterns, dangercrafts.etsy.com.
And on Ravelry. They're all on Ravelry as well. And she's got a great, very active group on Ravelry if you ever are looking for some monsters.
She seems very creative. I would like to meet her someday.
She sounds very cool. So, that's about it for me.
So you can find us on Plurk, Lala Knits, You Don't Call Me Less, our Ravelry group, which is nearly 800 people, Twitter, Facebook, our site, TheKnitGirlls, 3Ls.com, and that's where you have to go if you want to enter to win the yarn and the pattern.
Yep, iTunes,
yes, definitely leave us and all of your podcasters at least a star rating if you can. A review is also fantastic.
It makes our week.
Yes, I'm always happy to see new ones. And that's it. And we'll see you guys. Today's Super Bowl Sunday, so Laura's going to head home and root for those Steelers. Not that you could tell. And we will see you guys next week.
All right. Bye, y'all.